Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Thursday, the 22nd of May, 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Let's see what we've got today. Today is the most famous day in Bitcoin history, or should I say arguably the most famous day in Bitcoin history. Besides, obviously, 31st of October being the release of the white paper, the 3rd of January being the start of the network. But this was the first day that the value or the market price of Bitcoin took on the value of a real world item, which was 2 Papa John's pizzas. And here we are. Look at this. We've found the transaction. Check it out. 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin times what? We're now $111,000. That's $1.1 billion. 1.1 billion. And remember, like a billion is 1,000 million. A billion is 1,000 million. So like literally $1,000 million for 2 Bitcoins back then on the 22nd of May. 2010. Like, absolutely phenomenal. But the question has to be asked is, where are we now? Because it wasn't that long ago before we had this guy trying to celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day and selling pizzas for fiat currency because they couldn't accept Gregcoin or BTC in exchange for it, because the transaction fees were too high and it wouldn't have been worth it. Obviously the transactions were too slow and unreliable, so the payments couldn't be confirmed. They couldn't risk it, so they had to accept payment in dollars. And this guy was like leading the charge, going, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bitcoin pizza there, $22 or whatever, however much it was." But absolutely hilarious. So where are we now? Well, this happened today. This is hilarious. There was a post here saying, "This is crazy. Someone just paid 1.08 BTC in fees for a single transaction." And we found this transaction here in block, with Gregcoin block 897818. And check this one out. So we've got the input value of 1.1 BTC, which is $122,671. But the fee was 1.08 BTC, which is $120,887, meaning of the $122,671 spent, only $1,784 was received because $120,000 went on fees. Like, honestly, and this is where we are. And it said decode op return, and it says here, the message in here: payment got Gemini Pizza blocked to Mara, and Mara was the miner that received the fee. But I mean, look at this, like Gemini Pizza. I mean, like, who on earth would be bragging about sending $122,000 and having $120,000 of that 122 gone in fees, so that you only receive $1,784? I mean, seriously, what is this? What is this? Even if somebody, maybe it's because they're trying to encourage people to keep their Gregcoin on exchanges, because it's literally like, you're talking about what, like 98% fees? So you may as well just keep it on exchange and then dump it into fiat, because you don't want to use it, don't want to spend it, because you can't. That's why it's digital gold, store of value, normally use it BS. I mean, Bitcoin started out as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. We are so far away from this right now. It is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But I mean, this is the world we're living in, 2025. Up is down, left is right. Men can get pregnant, all this crap. Like, jeepers. But, you're wondering, how has it got to this stage? Well, just listen to this guy here, because I've said here, imagine someone as unstable as this finding out Gregcoin BTC became a Ponzi scheme in 2017 and he loses everything. So just have a listen to this. and make make your own judgment call on how emotionally stable you think somebody like this that is literally all in on Gradecoin. Have a listen.
I agree with everything they say because, of course, I actually who brought Bitcoin to a lot of these people. For those of you that don't know, I brought Bitcoin to Donald Trump in the early years through really great patriots like Laura Loomer and others. I've been helping in a small way, but I think it's translated into some very significant events that we're currently seeing in Washington, D.C. now with the establishment of a crypto Cesar and a Bitcoin blockchain setup and essentially a strategic reserve, which I did influence that, thankfully. I'm so glad President Trump has taken the advice of myself and many other individuals in this space that have innovated for such a long time and really put our heart and soul and passion into this because we love America so much. I just had 2 amazing helicopters, a fleet of them actually, fly by me, and I'm like, man, I love this country so much. Like, I just really want to thank all of you out there worldwide. But I really want to take a moment to thank our veterans and those of you that currently serve and protect our freedom and liberty here in the United States. My hat is literally off to you. This is the greatest country in the world. And I just want you to know that America is coming back, that the golden age has been initiated. This is freaking 1776, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the freaking moon, 1,000 freaking X. And I love you all. And this is such a great moment. May 21st, 2025 in American freaking history. And as we said on the break.
Whoa, like where did that come from? Like, I mean, literally the hubris and the fact that he's obviously been in BTC for a long time, so numbers gone up, has no idea what's going on in the background, doesn't give a monkey's, literally is just so ingrained in his own belief in what's happened. Oh, we're gonna go to the moon! We're gonna go to the moon! I mean, literally, Ponzi schemes collapse overnight. The signatures have been removed. The block size has been restricted. They've been told not to use it. I mean, it is just going to be absolutely devastating. And somebody like him is never, ever going to be able to deal with what is coming his way. And imagine like someone as emotionally unstable as this guy, losing like hundreds of millions of dollars potentially. Where's the finger of blame going to lie? I mean, we know why Blockstream and all that want Craig and Satoshi to move a coin, so that suddenly the finger of blame gets pointed at him. What'd you do that for? Blah blah blah. Lost billions. Now it's your fault. No way. Don't want to be touching that shit. But the market turns. Ooh, miners are economically incentivized. Something's happening. What's going to happen? Like, be shitting it. And this one as well, Michael Saylor, when he says no one has ever lost money buying Bitcoin. Again, it's all about number go up. It's massive hubris. They have no idea. They've not even bothered looking at the politics of what went on in 2017. It's scary as fuck, really. Anyway, let's get talking about Satoshi Nakamoto. Let's go on to what Craig is saying here. It says, right now, you can operate crypto linked cards connected directly to known wallets, routed through layered corporate structures, and spend in fiat without ever triggering a spotlight. This isn't theoretical, it's operational. So the real question becomes, why the hell would anybody with a functioning prefrontal cortex choose to publicly disclose their holdings, their structure, their flows? If you're not raising capital, if you're not listing equity, then exposing your position is just an exercise in vanity-fueled stupidity. You gain nothing. You invite risk. You turn your private strategy into public ammunition. And after the Kleiman case, when I was legally compelled to reveal holdings, structures and interlocks, that's precisely what happened. It all became public, but not anymore. The window's shut, locked, bolted. The assets are moved. The company's closed or liquidated. And the trail as it stands now is cold. That's the point of having jurisdictional firewalls and offshores. Not to vanish, but to remain privately positioned and legally out of reach. This isn't about anonymity, it's about privacy. Not hiding in the shadows like a criminal, but operating in silence like a professional. Learn the difference. That is beautifully put there. And CSW replied to somebody else who was questioning something earlier on today about the Seychelles company. Oh, I think it was this one, yeah. So obviously, like, somebody was just trolling Craig, saying about Craig writes, Seychelles company struck off for non-compliance with law. Tulip Trading dead. Right International Investments dead. Equator Consultants dead. Oh, how we laugh. Blah 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 blah. Fake Toshi. But Craig has actually just responded to this. Very very matter of fact. When somebody had said to him, do any of you BSV holders know anything about this? So Craig said, the trust is the same, and I don't plan on having offshore companies the entire world knows. And Began said, I figured it would be something to this effect. Thank you for your clarification, sir. He said, every company ever listed in court filings, disclosures or litigation, liquidated, shut down, assets relocated. Not a shell remains with a name worth tracing. That's not an accident, it's by design. The entire reason offshore structures exist is so the world doesn't get a clean map of what you own. There it sits, or how it's moved, and it's going to stay that way. Yeah, excellent, because like the whole world is corrupt. Literally, as Shakespeare said, the whole world is a stage, and now we know who built it. You know, we know. That's 11 minutes gone. So we've just got there. Cointelegraph says Bitcoin, that's Gracoin, tops Amazon market cap on Bitcoin P today as price sets new highs. Well, so Gracoin surpasses Amazon in market capitalization, $2.2 trillion. And marking a symbolic milestone that experts say could boost mainstream investor confidence. Again, it's just all about getting people in. That's all it is, just pumping this bubble. It is huge. It is literally the largest bubble in financial history. Literally, you know, outdoes the Tulip Trust by like a factor of 10. It's just absolutely massive what we're dealing with. And it's all because this is literally what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the state of the world, really. We either have a common money used by the people to create government that works for the people, or government will create currency, as in a CBDC, to control the people. That is it. So they've got nothing to lose with all the crimes that they've committed, like literally creating a $2.2 trillion bubble. You know, that all it is like, where is the finger of blame going to lie when this thing pops? It's inevitable. Because it does nothing. We've already seen the transaction today. Look at that. You know what, you send $122,000 and you spend $120,000 of that in fees. Absolutely, it's insanity to the max, and all by design, all done on purpose. Jeepers. Let's have a look at some of these CoinGeek articles. The BSV solution to censorship, digital identity challenges. I mean, there's a lot that I want to go through. I just haven't got time because I've got to head out in a bit. And I still want to go through the figures. This could be a really bad move for Reformer Nigel Farage, when they're saying that leader of Reform Nigel Farage to speak at the Bitcoin 2025, or the Venetian, I think that's Las Vegas. So May 27th to 29th, and again, so he's gonna get caught up in this bubble. Which is going to be devastating, and he won't have an answer for it because he'll be the one. Yeah, I lost everything as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So you got caught too. Yeah, should have done your research, I'm guessing. You know. So let's have a look at these figures then, just quickly. It's 13 minutes gone. So we got Gracoin, $111,000, still going up, 111,417. B Crash 436. Fisher Price Cash, who cares? Bitcoin though, just $39. $39. Transactions down at 9.7, but block size 94.1. Look at that, 94.1 of the percent of the block size across all the Bitcoin forks. We did have some bigger blocks coming across earlier today, but the last 30 blocks, nothing really to write home about. 88,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gracoin. Mining Bitcoin still at a 30% comparable loss. Mining Fisher Price Cash at a 3% profit, and mining B Crash at a 1.1%. Comparable loss. So much of a much. So the profitability is still being managed, but the politics is all in the pie charts. Look at this. So other miners 12.5% of the hash rate on Gracoin, but look, this is very telling. This is very telling. Other miners 62.5%, and it's still more it's just a little bit more profitable to mine on Gracoin, but 62.5% of the hash rate on B Crash. And there we go. That's Bitcoin. We can just have a look at confirmed transactions, 44,000. That's not really very much at all. But in terms of miners, Taos 29.7, QD Link 25.1, Kuv 21.3, SA100 13.7, Gorilla Pool 7.63, and Mining Dutch 2.2. Getting a look in there. And look at something's been happening to the price here, because it actually, we've got a 24-hour high of $49. $49. I'm not sure where. Oh, there we go. Oh, we just saw it there. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Let's reduce that to the 1 minute to see what happened there. There we go. Like what on earth? What on earth happened there? So can I see if I can zoom in on that? Oh, maybe you might be able to. So look at that. Price went up, shot down, shot right back up again to $49.86, and then came down. You know, something is going on there. Something is going on. Look at that. The prices are all over the place. Literally all over the shop. Let's just refresh that. Oh, hold on. So this is what's been going on today. Yes, where it's like $39.57, but it had a high of 49. Yeah, this looks to me like, you know, price is breaking out and they're trying to artificially suppress it again. Like, we're talking David v Goliath is literally one about. Let's see what that looks like compared to Gregcoin. Oh, look at that. So this is Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. It's almost the same as what it's doing against the US dollar. Whoa. Here we go. Yeah, so they're literally just trying to keep Gregcoin alive. There's not a lot they can do because obviously you're talking about a $2.2 trillion market cap. The amount they'd have to flood in is just phenomenal. Would people start asking questions? Would Donald Trump get involved? Where did you get like $100 billion from to pump Gregcoin to maybe like $3 trillion market cap? Where did you get that? Where did you get $150 billion from, Tether? You know, Paolo Adornio, did you just get $150 billion sent to your bank account? It's a joke. Like, literally an absolute joke. Oh my god. I'll just have a look at Livecoin. So yeah, my overall market cap $3.4 trillion. Gregcoin market cap, yeah, 2.2. But look, 24-hour trade volume, just 2.8%. Just 2.8%. That should be much higher than that. Yeah, with the price rally going on, but it's not. It just smells like all the figures are fake. I think the entire market is fake. You know, just my opinion, but that's what I think. But Bitcoin here, yeah, look. So look, this jumped up. This moved first, and then they started pumping Gregcoin alongside it. Like, shocking what's going on. Shocking. But 365 days of Bitcoin history. As we said, it was the 22nd of May. 2010 was Bitcoin Pizza Day. Here it is. There are the two Papa John pizzas. Fantastic. And a year ago today, Stephen Bartlett from Dragon's Den was a guest speaker at the London Blockchain Conference. Check it out. I didn't get to speak to him, but Kurt got to interview him, which is pretty great. So imagine if one day Stephen Bartlett wants to come on my show. Or I get invited on a Diary of a CEO. I'll be like, nah, mate, you come on my show first. That would be quite amusing. There we go. Right, that's a 19-minute show. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations to your appreciation to either Satoshi@Sentime.com, Handcash.io, Rockwallet.me, Simply.cash, or Relaser.com, or Senti.ch. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move